Alaba boys. 2 shots. WhichLevel. Idumota. 2 shots. WhichLevel. Alaba boys. 2 shots. WhichLevel. Idumota. 2 shots. WhichLevel.
All right, everybody, you're welcome back to WhichLevel. When I say you're welcome back, it's been a long time coming. It's been almost a year now. And I know you've all been waiting for season 3. Season 3 is here now. And we are introducing season 3 with a little twist. So you might see a little bit of 1 or 2 different things. So please bear with us. I'm not going to be wasting much of your time because I have a very special guest in the studio today. But before I introduce our special guests, I would like to introduce a new face to the show. Her name is Liz Manning.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
How you doing, my sister?
I did. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Nice to meet you guys. What's up, everybody at home? Nice to meet you.
Awesome. And Liz Manning is out of Dallas, and we needed somebody out of Houston to tell us what's going on outside Houston. So what's Dallas like?
Dallas. Very boring. No trouble.
You don't want us to come and chop down money. That's okay. We know how you do. We know how you do. Hey, and to my brother, my friend, Delight Photography. He's back. The man in black. Talks. What's going on, bro?
All good. Nice to be back. It's finally good to be back.
Awesome.
On the show.
So what's been happening to you? I mean, I know a lot has been happening. I know, but
yeah, it's been it's been life.
Okay.
It's been good. All good. No complaints. No worries.
Then that's not life. Because if it's life, some good, sometimes not too good.
Yeah, that's why I say it's been life.
You said all good.
Oh, well, at the end of the day, it's all good.
That's true. You got a point
it's
there.
All good. At the end of the day, it's all good.
And I saved this person. You guys are about to hear her voice. I will let her introduce herself. There you go.
Hello.
Hey, Lillian.
Hi.
What's been going on with you? It's been a long time now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
I just saw you the other day.
Nope. You heard my voice on the phone.
But I saw you the other day.
What was the other day? 2 months ago?
When I came to eat. Remember?
That was some months back. Yeah, some months back. But nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again too.
And thank you for always making our time to come.
You're welcome.
Disturb us here in WhichLevel.
Disturb you, please.
Okay, so without wasting much of your time, I would like to introduce a very good friend of ours, Pastor Ifeanyi. He is one of the pastors at Grace International Church. Please, big round of applause for Pastor Ato. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Sure.
So today, we're going to be talking about something that I think it affects probably Christians. Many of us go to church on Sundays. I mean, other than Sundays, yeah, we do fellowship, we do pray to God, But some Sundays, some people are not opportune to go to church, or they just don't want to go to church. And then they choose to fellowship at home. And then some Christians frown at that. They rather, you shouldn't have any kind of excuse not to go to church to fellowship. From what I gathered, some people have, very good reason not to go to church on Sunday. It's not like they don't want to. It could be medical reasons. It could be fatigue. It could just be work or something.
So again, the topic again, so what we're thinking about going to church and fellowshipping at home, right? I think that if I'm going to start with this, maybe we'll make rounds. I might still be able to juggle some ideas in my mind. But I think that at the end of the day, God is everywhere. And what is very important is our relationship with God. And there are people that are living in countries where they're not even allowed to go to church, or where the church system does not exist, right? And I think that, as long as we understand that, even when we go to church, we can go to church out of obligation, right? Which is just something that is religiously cultural, right? That because you're raised going to church, your parents went to church every Sunday, and then you can still go to church and not actually connect. Or it may just seem like just going out there because, it's the thing that you've been doing. So I think that going to church while going to church is great, I think what is even better is actually having that relationship with God. So if you have a relationship with God and you go to church, and I think that that's actually, that's a plus, right? Rather than go to church. What does that mean? That maybe you're only a Christian on Sundays, and then Monday to Saturday, you could be any other thing. And then you can go to church, know how to sing the songs, know how to do all the things, right? All the acting, so you can belong, so you can really, really fit in. But the essence of that relationship with God is missing, and it's not there. So for me, I think the relationship is what matters. And then when you have that and you go to church, it makes a whole lot of sense. And that's where I'm going to stop for now. I'm going to yield back and let other people chime in.
What do you think about this? What do people in Dallas think about this?
Do you guys go to church?
You kind of throw Dallas people under the bus.
Not really. Just checking.
I mean, for me, basically, I like what Toke said about, are you just like going to church just basically because you're following like tradition, your family, went to church and you feel like you just want to go to church. For me, it's a personal thing because I base it up on my relationship with God. Apart from me knowing God through my family, I came to realization personally as who God is in my life. And that was the reason why I kept going to church. And I'm the kind of person that I don't like discriminating. I've been to different type of churches. Going to church for me, it's not more about just going to just say, I just want to go, but it's more of I'm going just to be in fellowship with other brethren in Christ. And then that way it helps me build my relationship better with God, because it's easy for me to just be at home and sit at home and say, God is here at home. Of course I know God is here at home, but how do I improve my spiritual life? By fellowshipping with, even the Bible says, fellowship with other brethren. The purpose of that will help you grow spiritually. So for me, okay, let me tell you one story. During the pandemic, I remember I didn't go to church for 1 year. And I'll watch church virtually, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm watching church. While I'm watching church, I'm cooking, I'm walking around, I'm doing, and I didn't gain anything from that. But the moment I stepped back into the church, the atmosphere, the worship, the praise, the preaching, everything just kind of connects. And it really, really helped me improve my spiritual life. So I didn't tell you, as I did like this every Sunday. I don't want to miss church because it's like something in me is like it's missing. So yeah.
Okay, so I have a question. You don't work on Sundays, do you?
I used to work on Sundays. So good question, because I'm saying good question because a friend of mine actually asked me this question. He said, wait, you used to work on Sunday? I said, yeah. And I said, look, I took it to God in prayer. I said, God, please, I'm about to ask my supervisor and managers that I want to go to church. I want to go to church. And lo and behold, somebody left the company and the space became available and they gave it to me.
Wicked prayer. Wicked prayers. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz Manny. Thank you so much. At least that's a good representation of the Dallas folks. Hi, Lillian.
I'm not going to say hello.
Okay. I thought you were going to say hi.
Hi.
Okay. Church, house, fellowship.
It doesn't really matter to me. If you go to church, great. If you don't go to church and you fellowship at home, it's also great. As long as you are having that relationship with God, that's all that matters. I go to church sometimes. I stay at home and watch church sometimes. So I get what Liz says about being in church and having that different feeling when you're in church, when you're in the presence of God and the whole congregation. You know, it's good, but having to talk down about people not going to church because they're fellowshipping at home, that's kind of weird, because it just depends on what that person is going through or how they're feeling.
I hope you're not saying this because you're sitting beside a pastor.
Oh no, man.
just checking.
Nah,
Just checking. Okay.
no.
Okay.
No, that's because, no. Even me, when I don't go to church, my mom will be like, "You don't go to church today?" I'm like, "No." I said, "Why?" "I'm tired." I said, she would now say, "Oh, you need deliverance." And I'm like, "Mom, it doesn't." I know. I'm like, calm down. I just missed the day or whatever. I can, read my, like, what I watch it on TV, and she'd be like, "That's not the same." I'm like, I understand, but as long as I've heard the word and I've listened and I'm good with my relationship with God, that's all that matters. It's not, everybody's not holy, I beg. It's just, it is what it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
You want to say something?
I want to say something.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
And because I know we're going to give the pastor a
Go
lot of
ahead.
time.
Go ahead, please.
And, and I like to speak from reality. I like to keep things really real. And I feel like sometimes as well, the way that we've perceived church has been very emotional. We've tied going to church to knowing God or getting blessed. And there's nothing, I don't see anything. Maybe the pastor can tell us that, right? But I don't see where God blesses you because you go to church. I do not see it. I see a beneficial relationship from you knowing God for who God is. If we like Liz, can I say Liz?
You can call me Liz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz.
Okay. So like Liz said, during the pandemic, right? That is a test of, of people's faith. You understand? And I understand that there are people going to church is good, right? Like she said as well, the coming together of the brethren, edification, they used to say those things. I know those big words while we're growing up, even though we didn't really know the meaning, but I get it, right? But going to church is great. And like the pandemic time, if you couldn't go to church, what would have happened to your faith, right? Because your faith is not in the church. It's good to get together in the assembly with the brethren, right? But as a person, right, you can have identity crisis when it comes to God or who you are in Christ and base it on church, right? Church is good. It's the four wall. I mean, what we call church is the four wall, right? But I think that the coming together of people itself is the church. So for me, sincerely, if you go to church, it's good. The pastor is happy that you're coming to church because that's the pastor's purpose. God has called him to that purpose. And, it's in that avenue. It's like you having a shop, right? And people come to your office, to your shop every day to buy stuff. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
What did you do to Tokes? Who are you?
You know what happened? I traveled to some places and my life changed. So the pastor, is happy that people come to church. If the pastor can open the church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, people can come in. He's happy. That is purpose. And he's seeing, growth in his purpose. But what is our own purpose? And where are we channeling it through? Right? So it's just, some people see church like a social place. Big time, like go and meet somebody and talk, we do whatever. So it's better not to even go than to go for the wrong purpose. But it's more important to know why we go. And I think that I'll make bold to pastors to help people see that, you see, coming to church is great, but your own personal relationship with God is even better, right? And that's why I respect pastors that will say, find a church that you can go to. Some pastors will say, come back to our church. You understand? So it's not about the church. And I think that there's that borderline there, but now I think I've said everything I want to say now. So, yield back.
Anyway, welcome back. That's the Tokes I know. So we're going to usher in our special guest, Pastor Ifeanyi. The reason why we saved this part for you is because we know that you're you're the most experienced and you're an expert when it comes to issues like this. So please school us on this issue
All right. Thank you so much.
What do you think?
Where's
Or
my
what does the Bible say?
Where's my offering?
No, we don't need that.
I'm just
And just to correct this, we're all still learning. I'm still learning, because I still read the Bible, I still listen to people, and there are so many things that you discover every day. Even if you think you know it all, you don't know it all. And when you're with people, sometimes you just realize it could just be a little teenager giving you a different perspective of God. So it's a learning process. And that's how God has put it. We'll keep learning and growing every day. But to put things in the proper perspective, because of this issue that we're having today, it's a common thing. Most people don't want to go to church. And several people, especially after the pandemic, many people want to just have fellowship, have church at home, pray from
Are you
their
referring
home.
Are you referring to Lee's?
No. It's common. It cuts across all continents. It cuts across all countries right now. But let's start from the beginning. If we're talking about fellowship and the church, which has to do with God, the first thing we ought to know about it is fellowship and church was instituted by God. God from the beginning created us as a family to have children. He created us as a family for himself. He didn't need to create man. So we got to look at it from that beginning. And when he created man, he said, you don't have to be alone. He brought him a wife and he told them, go and multiply, keep increasing, keep having fellowship. So that's how that's how the world started from the Bible perspective, which I believe as Christians, that's what we all believe. That's how it started. So going from there, when we talk about fellowship and church and pastor, sometimes it doesn't allow me explain things properly. So let me talk like an individual. Not remove the pastor thing for now. Let me explain like a person how I feel about this.
I can relate
so
to
that I can connect to so many other people, because I've not always been a pastor. There are times I didn't have any church. I wasn't going to church. So I wasn't born in church. So there are so many people that probably will listen to me today or will listen to this and will wonder, he's a pastor, that's why he's sounding that way. But okay, let's look at it from a different angle. Do we really need fellowship? Do we really need to go to church? Yes, and the answer is yes, we do. Because God did not create us to be isolated. There's nobody that wants to be alone. So it's not just about church. It's about fellowship. We all need one another. We need each other to grow. We need each other for different purposes. And there are many people who also have fellowship, not just Christians. I know that today we're talking about Christians and the church, but there are so many other organizations, secret call people, they have fellowship. The other religion, they have fellowship. So many organizations have that time where they come together to meet as individuals, as a group. So we shouldn't be any different as Christians. We shouldn't be any different. We also ought to come together and have fellowship. And there are some scriptures. I don't want to go too much into the Bible. There are some things that I would have said, but I will still say some that shows us how God feels about fellowship. Like one that I always like saying, it says, woe to him that is alone. I don't know if we've seen that scripture. It says, if he falls, he will have nobody to help him up. But if you're with people, if you fall or have any challenge, you have somebody to bring you up. Now, like my brother Tok said, God is everywhere. I can pray to God and he will answer me. That's absolutely correct. I agree with you. God is everywhere and you can pray to God everywhere, anywhere that you are, and he will answer you. But there's a special thing that happens when we come together. When we come together as children of God to fellowship in one place, in one accord. If you look through the Bible, the first instance you see after the death of Jesus Christ, they came together and they were praying and something special happened. There's always something special when we come together. I hope I'm not sounding too much like a pastor, please.
You are a pastor. We
Yeah, you
understand.
can't change it.
No,
You can't change
for
it.
tonight, I don't really want to go too into the Bible. I want people to understand what I'm saying. So there's always something special when we come together as children of God to meet in a particular place. And if you're unable to come to that particular place, like what my sister said, oh, I connected online and watching. There are times when I connect to service online, and I can assure you many times I was distracted. My wife will come and call me, Ifeanyi, come and test the soup, come. I disconnect from that program and test the soup. Do you understand? My child comes, daddy, they pull me out, I disconnect. So it's not always the same. It's not always the same. If you're in church or having fellowship, it's different. It's a different atmosphere. It's different from watching from wherever you are. And so that I can allow somebody else to talk. Let me also say this. The essence of watching online or connecting online, watching from YouTube and all of that, the purpose of that is not for people not to come to church. It is for people that are unable to physically be present, people that are on vacation, people that are probably challenged, you understand? People that are the aged amongst us that cannot come. That's what those things are for. And it's for a wider reach, because the essence of the church is to draw many people back into fellowship, bring people back into church. So when we now make YouTube our only medium of fellowshipping, I think that there's something wrong with that. All right, let me leave it at for now.
Okay, I'll give everybody here like a minute or two, but I just have one question.
Sure.
So, for example, my job, I work Saturday nights, and I'm a Christian. I want to go to church on Sunday.
Are you?
Says who's wearing black. Yeah, so I want to go to church on Sundays, but it's not always convenient for me because I come back early Sunday morning, and I decide to fellowship at home because I am tired, I'm sleepy, I can't even drive. What do you think? I know you would say you don't want to sound like a pastor. I just want to get your own. What do you think about that? If I choose to fellowship at home on Sundays, I'm not the only one. I'm speaking on behalf of my colleagues too, as well, because a lot of us, are going through this.
Right.
Yes.
All right. The thing is, most times, if you notice, we all make excuses only for church. Regardless of how we feel, we always have to go to work. Many times you see people, they still want to go to work. But when it comes to church and it's Sunday, that's where everybody's tired. Everybody says, I can't go, I want to watch online. But in your instance, the question you asked me, if you're tired and you can't go to church, God is not so difficult. God is not a hard man. He's not a tax master. If you cannot make it to church and you can connect online, fantastic. As long as you're still hooked up. There are so many people that have received so many blessings that have been blessed by watching online. It tells you that God is in support of those things, of using the media, Facebook, and all of that. So if you can't come, you can connect online. But if you can make it, there's no excuse for you not to be in church.
All right, Tokes, now you've heard I have a reason not to go to church on Sunday. I'm just joking.
That's not what I said.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Okay.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for that clarification.
Sure.
Anybody have anything? I'll just give everybody 1 minute or 2 minutes each. Liz, you got something to say after the pastor?
I'm just gonna say, like, for me, I believe that it's just it's religion in general. Whether we say church, whether we say mosque, whether we say Hindu, people that are like going to what do they call Buddha
the temple.
The temple.
You know, like whatever God you serve, basically. I believe that I do understand what my sister is saying, that God, you can still stay at home and still have the presence of God with you. And that would be like your own personal thing. And there are people that are successful today. They don't go to church, and everything aligns, the way they have it. But I believe that making that decision to actually step into the church, or be be going to church and be with other members of church, I believe is a personal belief, and I believe is a personal conviction. You have to get to a certain level of your relationship with God, to really know that, do I really just want to just be a loner in the house? Just like Pastor said, do you really just want to be by yourself? Because there's some times that we do need that. We need not the church. I'm not going to use the church now for the sake of talks. I'm not using the church. I'm talking about we need we need that community. There are things that we need help with. Sometimes it could be a mental thing, it could be a financial thing, it could be a spiritual growth, it could whatever it is that it's missing in your life. It's always quicker to be able to get that help in whatever community, because we are all not Christians. There are people that are Muslims and stuff like that. So it's like you just finding that home-based community of people that you can be with, that can encourage you and lift you up, basically. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Lise. Lillian.
I don't know. I mean, like she said, it's your personal relationship with God. You cannot condemn people for not going. And you'll be surprised, the ones that even go are even the evil ones. They are more evil than you could think of. You see, the people that will help you mostly are the non-Christians, So fellowshipping at home, at church, being in the congregation, everybody has a personal preference, Everybody does. Some people are even afraid to go outside and be with other people. And they prefer, being in the midst of the TV and watching it. It's better for them. So
convenience.
Yeah, no, it's better for them because how people are afraid of social anxiety and all that.
Let me tell you something. What you just said right now is a good point. You know why? I've heard people tell me that I don't want to go to church because this sister gossip too much. This brother gossip. They don't like me or something.
Yeah, it's always something.
Like they concentrate more if they're home. Yeah.
Like I also have a friend where she doesn't go to church. She has a prayer room where she has a room. She locks herself in there. Everything that's in there is scriptures everywhere. She has a book. She has a mat. She kneels there and she prays, and that's her fellowship, where she doesn't need any other thing to distract her. She plays her music. She plays her gospel. She sings with herself and all of that, and she prays in her own little room. So going to church we get the fact of going to church, having to see other people around, someone who is having the same, interest as you, the religion that you have. It's great. But it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's your personal preference. Now you say that you are tired. There's evening mass. Go to evening mass. There's 5 o'clock. There's 6 o'clock. You can go to that.
Okay, the problem is I'm not Catholic.
Oh, you're not Catholic. Oh, yeah. See? Okay, there's
midweek service.
There's Wednesday, there's every day. There's church every day. But I'm not condemning you. I'm just messing with you.
Thank you. You just did.
So I'm just messing with you. But anyway, so, it's like I said, personal preference. You want to go to church, great. If you don't want to go and you are at home and you're praising God and you're accepting God as your personal savior, that's good too. As long as that's who you have your relationship with. Right. That's all that matters.
Can I come in here? Can I say this? Okay. There are many reasons why some people have stopped going to church. And you hear people say stuff like, I discovered there were so many, just as my sister said, so many bad people in church and all of that. Some people will say Christians are bad and all of that. Yes, that happens in many churches. If you look at the Bible very well, you see that one of the 12 that Jesus had was Judas. He was amongst the 12. So in every church you go, you will always find people that are not genuine Christians. The church is not actually for all good people. It's for people to come and change. It's a process of maturity where people come and they see themselves being like our Lord, being like the Lord Jesus Christ. That's one. Secondly, yes, people, you can have this prayer thing at home. You pray at home. You say, my family will pray together. You ought to have that kind of personal fellowship with God. But if you look at it in the Bible commands us. Jesus Christ said, go and make disciples of men. Go and preach the word. So if you're doing your fellowship or having your fellowship in your house, isolated, you're not talking to anybody, it's just me and my God, you are not obeying the commandments of God. Because at a point, even if you're so spiritual, let me put it there, you hear from God, God visits you in your house. One day he will tell you, go and minister to Pastor Ifeanyi. He will send you to somebody. You understand? So that's what will happen. We have that commandment to go and speak to people. So if God wanted us to be at home and be alone, he wouldn't have told us that. But he said, go to the world. Tell everybody about Jesus Christ.
What if?
So that's why we cannot afford to just be on our own.
What if in the case of that, the way she spreads and does the spreading of the word is posting, or when she sees her friends, she talks more with them about God and, shares the word of the Lord with other people through social media or through in person with her close friends. So is that not still fellowshipping outside?
That's evangelism.
That's doing the work of the Lord.
That's doing the work of the Lord.
Yeah, because you said to go out.
Yes, to go out and make disciples. You see, making disciples will still bring the fellowship back to you. You understand? Because as you're posting it on your Facebook and telling people, they will reach out to you. Oh, Sister Toby, can I come see you? There's something I need to discuss with you. And I need to come see you.
It's all about money. I don't want.
That will cut your ear too.
Don't answer.
So somebody will always look for you. You cannot disassociate from that fellowship thing. You get it? And fellowship, what happened to Psalm 122 verse 1? You can look it up anytime. It says, I was glad when they said, let us go into the house of the Lord. That was King David. He didn't need to go to the house of the Lord. He was a king. But he said he was glad. There's a special kind of joy. If you want to stay alone, if you want to have fellowship alone with me, myself, and my family, what you will end up doing is being selfish about what you have discovered and not willing to lead. What you will end up doing is, I don't want to be committed to anything. I don't want to lead anybody. I don't want to disciple anybody. I don't want to be any support to anybody. So that's how I see it, and I think that's the perspective of the Bible.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can tell you that I am beginning to look at it differently after hearing you speak. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just my own summary or rounding off. Liz, why are you even laughing already?
I'm laughing because
You even let me.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm one bad person. Even though I'm dressed like a babalawo or something.
I like you.
No, you're dressed like a pastor.
Thank you, Pastor. It takes one to see one. You people are not seeing very well. The pastor is seeing. Liz,
yeah.
Shine your eyes. Okay.
I shine now, my brother.
All right. So for me, again, I think that I'll keep it to the church. Within the walls of the church. We're talking about going to church. So I'll talk predominantly about church as relates to Christianity. In my own little knowledge, I still think that people should go to church. I believe people should go to church, but I believe more that we should go to church for the right reason. And I believe that that should be coming from our understanding and the depths of our relationship with God. Right, like Liz said, people go to church for different reasons, wrong reasons. And people go to church to find women. right? Some people go to church just to find wife, right? And God is merciful. I'm sure it still gives some people, right? But I still feel like there's that place of that personal relationship with God, right? And Jesus, right? Let me go to my Sunday school teachings back in the days.
Back in the spirit already.
Hey, be blessed, sister. Be blessed.
You learned that in church, not at home.
Yeah. I did.
Okay.
And it really well, I learned a lot in church, right? I have pastors that surrounded me, right? And I learned the art of church. But I had to leave church. When I got to college, I had to discover what God is for myself. I didn't learn that in the church. Okay. And that's some of the things that is helping me to form my opinion. Even Jesus, there are times where, he spoke to the multitude. There was that fellowship. He spoke with a disciple. But there are times where in the Bible it says Jesus went to be alone. He wants to be alone. Right. And I think that's a place where he connects with his Father, with God. And he can have that fellowship with God, have revelation and everything, and he can come back and give to the people. So Paul and Silas, they were in the prison. They didn't need to be in the church, right? And they prayed there, but it's because they knew who they were, right? And that's why they could be like, well, we could be in chains in the prison, but we could still pray here. That's coming from a relationship, right? So for me, it is good to go to church. Let's go to church, but let's go to church for the right. Let's not go to church for networking. It's good when it comes from there, right? Let's not go there to seek God's hand. Let's go and seek his face, right? That's just my opinion. Then let's go. Let's go for the right reasons.
So what's wrong with going to church to edify yourself, going to church to marry, singles ministry, going to church?
All right, I'll tell you.
Going to church, to network. Why can't we do it all? Why we are still in the church as people of God and people of Christ? Why can we not achieve everything at once?
Yeah, we can, but it's not that we have to. I think those should be benefits that should come out of being there, rather than going for the benefits itself. For the purpose, right? Let's think about a relationship, right? You have a relationship with someone and you live together, maybe your husband or your spouse or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and every day they just want you to cook for them and clean. They don't want to talk to you before they wake up. You've gone to work. They come back and you just meet your food. You eat it and you go to sleep and you don't even see them. You don't talk to them. You don't say, hey, how are you doing? How is your day going? See, that is just, there's God abuse where we just use God. Yeah. And, but if all those benefits like finding a wife, meeting somebody that helps your business, if it comes from going to church with the right reason, then that's the benefit that comes with it. But we should not put the benefit before the thing. I put the cart before the horse or the horse before the cart. I don't know how to say. But that's
and there's absolutely nothing wrong if you go to church for any of those good reasons.
To go and find a wife.
If you're looking for a wife, it's a good thing. The Bible says he that finds a wife finds a good thing. If you're looking for a wife, it's a good thing. If you're looking for friends, godly friends, it's a good thing. You understand? But the main thing is go because you love God. All those reasons, if you go as well, you know why some people say they don't like going to church, they don't trust Christians, is because at one point in time in their journey, they probably came across a fake pastor or fake prophet, and there are so many of them right now. So many of them out there, especially in some countries. Probably not in this country, but if you go to some other countries, like my country, plenty. I'm not going to say that country.
No, they are here in this country too, but go ahead.
Plenty of those fake pastors. So when you have met any of those kind of people, the tendency is they are all fake. They are all after money. They are all after one thing or the other. But like my senior pastor used to say, for the reason that you have fake, it means that you have an original. There's always an original before you can call somebody fake. So there are still genuine people out there. There are still good Christians out there. There are still fellowships and churches that you go and you will feel God. You're going for the right reasons. Many good things have happened to me in church from people that I didn't even know from anywhere. They just walk up to me and say things that will bless me. You understand? So it's always encouraging to be in church and in fellowship.
Okay, and to our viewers, if you're just joining us and you just heard our pastor speak, and you like what he says or what he said, you can check him out in his church. Please, can you tell them the name of your church and how they can find your church, Pastor Ifeanyi?
All right. The name of my church is Grace International Church. Is in Houston, Texas, and the senior pastors are Pastor Afrijamz and Afrijamz. Okay, so you can always locate us. You can go online as well, go to the website, and you can also watch us from any of those social media platforms.
So, Pastor, you're actually encouraging people to watch, not to go to
Oh,
church.
sure. Like I said earlier, there are some people who can come to church. There are some people that are walking. That's what watching is for. You can't come, or today you're tired. Let's not make the things of God so stringent. It's not like that. Sometimes we're all human beings. I also want to stay at home sometimes and watch. We all want to stay at home. But guess what? If we all stay at home, who will be the one on camera to actually show people those things? Who will be the one doing the ministration? If everybody stays at home or everybody stays at home to fellowship, then there's nothing to watch. That's what it means. So God will keep helping us and will keep encouraging people. What happened during the pandemic? During the pandemic, when there was lockdown and there were just like 5 of us in church, in a capacity of 1,000 people, church capacity of 1,000 or 700 to 1,000 capacity. We were just 5 of us in church. The pastor, 2 guys on camera, and a lot of people were calling then. Some people actually begged us, please don't close the church. I don't have any other family, nobody to talk to. I'm bored at home. I will just come to church. The level of loneliness, depression, increased.
Yeah.
A lot of people were depressed. And if you go online and check it out, you see what the experts said about it. The level of loneliness increased since then. And guess what also happened? So many of those people that left church have not returned back to church after the pandemic. After church opened, some people are not Christians anymore because they got so comfortable with eating jollof rice on Sunday and watching something. So a lot of them are not attending churches anymore.
Okay, so let me I know we should be running up, but you just said something that caught my attention. You said a lot of them are not attending church anymore, and you said a lot of them are not Christians anymore. So I just want to get one clarification. So
Sure.
Since they don't come to church anymore, does that change them from being Christians?
Okay. When people don't go to church, let me tell you something I discovered over the years from being in church before I became a pastor and before I came to this country. I discovered that the first sign of anybody who's backsliding or has an issue with serving God is they start missing service. The first sign, you see them in church all the time. They are here all year round. Once you start seeing them, 1 Sunday, 2 Sundays, they have no genuine excuse. It's not work related. It's not health related. They just start moving away from church. It's a sign, a pointer to the fact that this person very soon will not be a Christian anymore. And when I say it's not a Christian anymore, he stops believing in God. He goes back to his old man. When I say old man, to all the things he used to do, all the bad things they used to do before they knew God. It's a sign. So when I say they are not Christians anymore, after the pandemic, many people have changed. Some people don't even believe in God anymore.
Can I say something to that real quick? So I believe that just right after the pandemic, a lot happened, apart from, the depression, a lot of divorce rate hit up because husband and wives are now home. They are bickering everything. Nobody's to settle fight anymore. Now, let me tell you, what we're seeing on social media right now is really huge when it comes to discouraging people from going to church. Now that you're seeing pastors come online and, doing the broadcasting of church services online, people are saying that, so what am I going to church for now? Because when I go there, all they will just do is ask me for money. So there's no point going to church. I'll just stay home and just still listen to the word of God from home. And then I won't even pay my tithe. It discourages a lot of people from going to church now because they don't see any reason for going to church, which is the reason why, as I believe the pastor, for me, I feel like what I got from what the pastor said will be like, okay, you stop going to church. Now, how are you edifying yourself? Yes, you can do other things to edify yourself, but if you're not careful, you will backslide quicker than you can even imagine. Just because you are in the presence of God, but then just because you're not fellowshipping around other people where you can hear other people's experience of what they're going through and how they are overcoming those things. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Yes, it does. So on that note, I mean, do you have anything to say, Pastor, to that?
Well, I just want to agree. Yes, she's absolutely correct what she said. And I want to encourage people, everybody that's watching, when you can watch online, please feel free. But if you can go to a church, please go to a church that you're being blessed. Okay?
Thank you, Pastor Ifeanyi. On that note, I think we've all said our piece, and I want to say thank you to Tokes of Delight Photography, Lillian, and my very good friend Liz Money, all the way from Dallas. Thank you so much for making our time.
I mean, I represent Houston too. I mean,
what is your zip code?
She just moved.
Your zip code is Dallas, Auntie.
It's just geography.
And please say hi to my Arsenal brother.
Mind
you, all the way. I don't know.
Can you imagine? How on earth did she just say that word?
Off our mic.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate you. And Pastor Ifeanyi, thank you one more time.
Thank you so much.
And please, we want to encourage people to go to our YouTube page. It's actually Afrijamz TV. Please subscribe, share, turn on the notification button, so you can, be notified whenever we upload new episodes. We're going to be uploading every week now. We're back, season 3, and as you can see, it's slightly different. It's a little bit more interesting, and with that little twist I mentioned. So please make sure you join us same time on this channel, Afrijamz TV. See you. Be safe. And please go to church on Sunday. Thank you.
WhichLevel? WhichLevel? Alaba boys. WhichLevel? WhichLevel? Oba Iweka. WhichLevel? Aba boys. WhichLevel?